What's up guys, this is Cody here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the 65EG9600. So this is a 4K, 3D, OLED, curved, 65-inch TV from LG. And this thing is insane. Now if we break that down a little bit, we know what most of that stuff is. We know what 3D means, we know what 4K is, and that's becoming more and more mainstream, obviously referring to the resolution of the display. But OLED is something that maybe you guys have heard of, but not necessarily know exactly what it does or the benefits of OLED. Well, it stands for Organic Light Emitting Diode. But really all that you need to know about OLED is that it allows pixels to turn on and off independently of one another, which is not something that you're going to see on an LCD or an LED TV. But what's so cool about OLED and why do we care? Well, there's actually several benefits. One being you get the deepest and darkest blacks that you're going to get on any display. And that is arguably, in and of itself, the most important factor in achieving excellent picture quality. Deeper blacks are going to give you higher contrast as well as richer colors, which is obviously a good thing. Now you also have a wider gamut of color space in comparison to LED or LCD TVs, which means that OLED can produce much more true and finer shades of more colors within the visible color spectrum. OLED is also going to provide the fastest response time of any other TV out there, which means you're going to have less artifacting as well as less motion blur. Now viewing angles also come into play here. So with an OLED display, you're actually going to get much better viewing angles than you would in comparison to an LED or an LCD TV. And this is pretty important if you have, multiple people watching the TV at the same time. Just because with other TVs, even if you're off center by 20 degrees, you're actually going to experience degraded quality. When you're sitting here watching an OLED from any angle pretty much, and you can actually get a great quality picture no matter where you're sitting. And in comparison, OLED displays actually take the cake in size, weight, and power consumption because these guys don't require any backlight. So if you didn't know what OLED was or why it was important, now you do, and you can see why this is such a massive upgrade from other types of TVs. Now when you're looking for a TV in this price range with these types of features, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that picture quality is something that's very important to you. Now for me personally, this is the first 4K TV that I've ever owned. And so the first thing that I did when I unboxed it is I streamed some Sneaky Pete from Amazon Prime, and it was glorious. I didn't mess with the color or the contrast. I didn't mess with anything related to the picture quality, and it just looked amazing. I mean, skin tones were great, the detail was on point, and the blacks were perfect. But let's go ahead and talk about design for a second, because this thing is so damn sexy. First of all, it's curved, which is obviously a jaw dropper in and of itself, but check out how thin this TV is. I mean, it is crazy thin. It's as thin as a phone. And when I first unboxed this thing, not only could I not believe how thin it was, but how light it was. We have a nice sleek stand here for the TV, and in the back it's actually clear, so it kind of looks like the TV is floating, which is a nice touch. Now something that surprised me was that the back is entirely white, which is totally cool with me because most of my electronics are white. And right up here at the top, we have some type of really nice etched material, which I think looks pretty cool. So here on the back, you can see we have an audio out right up at the top. We have a USB 3.0, two USB 2.0s, and then right there at the bottom, we have 3 HDMI ports. And down here at the very bottom, we have an Ethernet port if you want to hardwire your connection. We also have some component connections, as well as an optical port and a place to connect your coax cable for your antenna or cable. So here's the controller for the TV. And of course, other than all the default buttons like volume up and down, channel up and down, the number pad, all that good stuff, you're also gonna see some buttons here that maybe you're not familiar with. One of those buttons, and a very important button, is the launcher bar button. So when you press this, even while you're watching something on Netflix or anything, this is going to allow you to basically quickly access any of the applications that are on your TV. So you just press on this, then you can access Netflix, you can access Amazon Video, YouTube, all the good stuff. But right down here, you also see that you have basically an up, down, left, and right. So you can obviously use this rather than using the pointer, which is actually very intuitive and very sensitive, and I like it a lot. I've actually been using it a whole lot more than I have been using these arrows right here. Now right here, you actually have a scroll wheel, and this is going to work in several different applications. Basically just allowing you to scroll up and down. This is also going to activate the pointer. If you don't want to open up your launcher bar, you can just scroll down and it's going to give you that pointer. So if you want to use the pointer in whatever specific application that you're in at that moment. Right down here, you also have your settings button. This is the 3D button, which will obviously turn on 3D when you press on that. You can also press on the voice button here and you can do things like change to HDMI 3 just after pressing that. And then you also right down here have these 4 colored buttons, which are going to work in different applications and provide different functions depending on which application that you're in. So what's awesome about this TV other than it being 4K, an OLED display, 3D, as well as a dope design? That would be WebOS. Now, a couple of years ago, software on TV in terms of applications were a joke. I mean, they were slow, they were clunky, they were buggy, and they just weren't a joy to use. And that is basically a day in the past. I mean, I have never used anything like WebOS on a TV. So all you have to do is actually hit the launcher bar button on your remote control. It's going to bring up your launcher bar. So this is basically going to give you all your favorite applications right here, just a click away. So my favorite are probably Netflix, Amazon Video, and YouTube. And all 3 of those apps are going to allow you to stream 4K content, which is going to be perfect for this TV. You can also get 4K content from DirecTV as well. But right over here, we have our last open application, or the application that we were just in. You can actually close out of it if you just go up there, tap the little X, and it's gonna just basically close out of that app. So if you click over here on the far left, this is going to show you open applications that you were just recently in. So you can see I was playing a game. I also tried out the Red Bull TV, which is an application that you can download from the LG Content Store, and then also Amazon Video. Now if we go over here to the home, you can see that we have our live TV as well as web browser right up here. And we can click over here, and this is actually going to give us all of our different applications. So there's a ton of different stuff that you can try out for yourself. But then if you just go over here to the LG Content Store, this is going to allow you to download applications as well. So first of all, we have just like basically TV shows, movies, all this good stuff, all kind of mashed into one thing. But if you want to filter this, and you can actually come over here, and you can just tap on apps and games if that's what you want to check out, and you can see basically what applications that they have available for you to check out for yourself. Now, if we hit the settings button right over here, it's actually going to pop out a little quick menu that you can actually just click on, and it's going to allow you to make quick changes. So for instance, if we want to click on our picture, you can see that we're using the standard option right here, and every single one of those dots is a different basically setting for your picture. So if we click on it, you can see the APS power save mode, the cinema mode, sports mode, game mode, photo mode, expert. These are basically custom ones that you can set up for yourself. You also have vivid. So we're just gonna leave this on standard. Right down here, we also have sound, so you can disable it, enable it. Basically, I have it muted right now. But you can go into aspect ratio if you wanna change that. Sleep timer, you can go into parental lock. Or if you want to go into advanced settings, then you just click on this, and it's going to bring up basically where you can get a little more granular into your settings. Now, the cool thing about this is that even if you're not, you don't have to open up this menu back over here, this one right here, in order to get into your advanced settings. You can literally just hold down on the settings button, and it's gonna skip coming over here, and it's just gonna open up the granular settings. So over here you have your picture, and this is where you're going to be able to change up a lot of different settings for your picture. There's one thing that I actually checked out and changed, and that was the if we go into the picture mode settings and we scroll all the way down here, you're gonna notice that we have advanced controls as well as picture options. But what I wanted to get into is right here in picture options. So if you don't really like the true motion setting, which is basically what a lot of people call the soap opera effect, then you can turn that off right here. So there's off, there's smooth, which is actually probably a little more exaggerated than the clear, and then there's user, which is basically one you can set up and customize yourself. So smooth basically makes it incredibly smooth. It kind of guesses frames between frames in order to give it a much more smoother effect. And if you guys watched the most recent Lord of the Rings at the movies, then you know exactly what type of effect I'm talking about here. But popping out back to the settings real quick, you also still have sound, you have channels, we can just click on right here. Of course, you'll want to set up your network so you can have Wi-Fi set up, or you can just hardwire it as well. I just have it connected to Wi-Fi right now. You also have just your general settings, so if you click on that, this is basically just, you know, time and date, location, all that good stuff. You can even change up what the LG logo does right there at the bottom of the TV. So you can see you can set it on high or turn it off completely. Over here, you also have safety and accessibility. So definitely a lot of cool stuff to check out. And the really awesome thing about this is just how responsive and snappy and fast that it actually is. I mean, I can't really stress that enough because I can't deal with things that are laggy, and this is absolutely not laggy. This is really quick, it's really snappy. It's basically just like using a phone on your TV. So all in all, this TV is freaking awesome. I love it. I've been watching Netflix, Amazon Prime, streaming in 4K. I've been playing games on it. I mean, I literally have no complaints whatsoever. So if you're in the market for a TV, I definitely recommend checking out this series. You don't have to get a curved one. They have a flat one as well. If curved isn't your thing, I think it looks really good. But I do want to give a shout out to LG for sending this thing out, and I hope you guys enjoyed my honest review. Now, LG is actually running a sweepstakes right now. So if you guys want to enter to win an OLED TV, then I'll put the details down in the description below and you guys can check that out for yourself. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure you smack that like button. It really helps me out. Of course, if you guys want to see more of my videos, make sure you subscribe. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.